Thank you for joining us here on Republic TV, getting you the latest details from across the country and also the world. This evening at 9 p.m, we have some breaking news from Afghanistan, which we've been covering in great detail. Here are the headlines. Taliban pummeled by the Northern Alliance in the Panjshir Valley. More than 1,000 terrorists of the Taliban either killed or captured by the resistance forces. Northern Alliance nails Pakistan's role in Taliban offensive, says several terrorists who were captured belong to Pakistan. Pakistan's support for Taliban backfires as Pakistan faction of Taliban bombs the army in Quetta. 5 people killed in Pakistan. Taliban struggles to find legitimacy. Now even Islamic nations like Iran say they will not recognize Taliban just yet. As women lead the anti-Taliban protests, the terror group silences protests using force. There are videos to show how they're cracking down, silencing women who are speaking out. An Indian contingent impressing in Tokyo. Suhas Yatiraj, Krishna Nagar taking India's medal tally up to 19. As women lead the anti-Taliban protests, the terror group is silencing the protests outside what's being reported. Now they're trying to use complete force to ensure that women don't speak out, and those visuals are there. But this evening on the special broadcast at 9 p.m, we're getting you details of the Pakistan Taliban bonhomie. This morning we had a picture of the ISI Chief, the Pakistan ISI Chief, who is in Kabul. It's one of the worst kept secrets of Pakistan. Just imagine if this Sunday evening you had India's intelligence chief in Kabul cooperating and seeing how the Taliban government would be formed. Just imagine if let's say the India's intelligence chief or the CDS, for example, were to make a visit to Kabul. What would Pakistan say? That's the man that you see on your screen is Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid. He's the ISI chief of Pakistan's rogue ISI. And he's helping the Taliban form the next government. Here's how Pakistan is getting hammered and exposed on the international stage.
Pakistan's role in harboring and aiding Taliban have been exposed several times. Amrullah Saleh confirmed that Pakistan was supporting the Taliban when he joined the Northern Alliance resistance movement. As their nexus was exposed, the attack on Panjshir intensified, and they have been trying to spread propaganda about a victory in the Panjshir Valley. However, they have been left bruised and battered by the Northern Alliance. At least 1,000 terrorists have been either killed or captured by the resistance forces.
Resistance allowed Taliban to enter Panjshir Valley, and when they all entered Panjshir Valley, the Panjshir resistance blown up a part of mountain and closed the exit road for the Taliban. After that, the spokesperson of Panjshir resistance, Fahim Dashti, said that it was a trap to let the Taliban enter the Panjshir Valley, and after their entrance, there are a lot of hundreds of Talibans have been killed by the resistance fighters, and they also claim that they have detained hundreds of Talibans with themselves.
The terrorists have claimed that Ahmad Masood and Amrullah Saleh had left the valley to spin the narrative that the fall of Panjshir was imminent. However, these visuals of Taliban retreating and fleeing the valley paint a different picture. Meanwhile, Pakistan's ISI chief is in the country and is reportedly choosing who will represent a new cabinet when it is announced. But in a major development, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan group launched an attack in Quetta, Pakistan. Taliban has claimed that Pakistan is like its second home and that it will protect its interests, but several fighters from the TTP were released from Afghanistan's prisons, and the move to support Taliban has shown signs of disaster. The unholy alliance between the terror sponsors and the terrorists seemed to have backfired on the global stage. Even several Islamic nations imposing the Sharia law are unwilling to accept Taliban as the new government in Afghanistan.
باید دولتی اونجا مستقر بشه که با رأی مردم باشه، با اراده مردم باشه. جمهوری اسلامی هم همواره دنبال این بوده که صلح و آرامش در افغانستان برقرار بشه، خونریزی و برادرکشی در افغانستان قطع بشه و اراده مردم افغانستان حاکم بشه. ما از دولتی که اون دولت برخواسته از رأی مردم افغانستان باشه حمایت می‌کنیم.
While the Taliban has been trying hard to project its victory in Panjshir and is looking for the global community to recognize its government, and even with the help of Pakistan's ISI, it is looking increasingly difficult for the Taliban to set up their next government in Afghanistan. Bureau Report, Republic TV.
Okay, straightforward India-Pakistan debate at 9 p.m. Let's get in Tom Varadkar, senior leader spokesperson of the BJP. Major General G.D. Bakshi, defence expert, has been tracking the developments in Afghanistan very, very closely. Major General Rajan Kochar, defence expert, also live from the national capital. Ahmad Jawad joins us live from Islamabad. He's the Central Secretary of Information of the PTI, which is Imran Khan's party. Brigadier Haris Nawaz, defence analyst, has been part of our broadcast here in Republic, joining us often. And Faraz Saeed, who's a political analyst, joining us live from Lahore. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. I'd like to start with the pictures of the ISI chief in Kabul. I want to play those pictures out full frame for our viewers before we start the debate, because we want to put the story in context. Just imagine, and I'm playing the pictures full frame of the Pakistan ISI chief. That's the Lieutenant General Faiz Ahmad of ISI in Kabul at a 5-star hotel. We'll play his pictures out of the ISI at a Kabul hotel. That's the ISI chief holding a cup of coffee there. We have the details of the hotel he was in, the room number, etc. He was right there just before Taliban announced that they would be forming the new government very, very soon. Taliban has just announced a few minutes back that the government would be announced soon, which would mean that in the next 48 hours they would be making that official. They were supposed to do it on Friday, but they did not because they got hammered in Panjshir. But let's also tell you what's happening alongside these developments. Why Taliban has had to call or work with the ISI chief of Pakistan. Because in Panjshir, on Friday, roughly about 48 hours ago, the Taliban released propaganda videos of them celebrating Lieutenant General, Major General Bakshi, celebrating almost a takeover of Panjshir. They were celebrating, they were putting out videos. We were wondering what's going on. We were looking at those videos almost in amusement. They put out videos saying we'd taken over Panjshir. Can you believe it? In the last 48 hours, 700 Taliban terrorists have been killed. When I say Taliban, I mean Taliban plus Al-Qaeda plus Lashkar-e-Toiba and whoever else is fighting alongside them. And we have IDs of some of these terrorists. What's going on? General Bakshi, I'll come to you first and I'll let Ahmad Jawad respond to you.
Yeah, is it the question from me?
Yeah, Ahmad Jawad, I'll let General Bakshi speak first and then you can respond to him. Yeah, General Bakshi, go ahead.
Thank you, Ahmad. Niranjan, as I was pointing out all this while, that when you study the Afghanistan campaign of the Soviets, you realize one thing, that the most severe fighting had taken place in the Panjshir Valley. We took out our records of that, of the Soviet operations, and we found that the Soviets had launched 7 major attacks on the Panjshir Valley and failed to take it. The 7th Panjshir operation of the Soviets, they had used 3 airborne divisions, 1 elements of 3 airborne division, Guards airborne division, which are their best. They had used a motorized division, they had 10,000 Afghans. It was preceded by carpet bombing, it was preceded by intense artillery barrages, and they failed. So when the Taliban went in, we were rather amused. It is one thing to beat up innocent women. It is one thing to whip them and stone them to death and feel 10 feet tall. Now they've had to really fight, and my information is that the casualties are reaching 1,000 plus. 120 of them were caught, surrounded and surrendered. And do you know something, Niranjan, that the Taliban had asked the General Bajwa, get us the head of Amrullah Saleh and we will do whatever you want in Jammu and Kashmir. Major General Adil Rahmani, head of the Pakistani Special Services Group, is personally in a Pathan Salwar and Kameez leading the operations. 2 SSG battalions supported by a squadron of tanks, now 3 batteries of artillery and 4 Huey Cobra helicopters. 4 Chinese drones are constantly televising the images to the Pakistani war room in Rawalpindi. General Bajwa is watching minute by minute. I think he must have gone home today after the solid thrashing. And there is a Turkish general and a Chinese general with him. They had promised, they were very sure that, you know, when their terrible Taliban forces come, the Tajiks will cut and run. That was their hope. You know, kabhi military history pad leni chahiye. You know, you should know who you are fighting against, right? And don't believe your own propaganda. They got thrashed, Niranjan, they got thrashed. You know, the Pakistani army has suffered 1 killed, 1 officer killed, 3 JCOs killed, 17 Jawans killed of their SSG, another 25 are wounded. They are all being flown back to the Peshawar hospital that has been emptied to receive more casualties. GOC 11 Corps of the Pakistan Army has been given the task of setting up a forward treatment center at Kabul to deal with these, you know, the casualties. The evacuation is so long, they are dying on the way.
Yeah.
The Pathan officers of the SSG have all been pushed there. They are complaining, why aren't the Punjabi officers there? Why are they all in the GHQ and in the cantonments? You know, and let me tell you one more thing. The Director General ISI, and let me make an explosive revelation on your channel tonight, Niranjan. The Director General ISI, Faiz Hamid, was given the task of cobbling together an inclusive government which would include some Tajiks, Uzbeks, Hazaras and some technocrats to run that government. You see, the Taliban is very good at exploding IEDs, beating up women, but that doesn't qualify you to govern. They are going to have a very hard time governing. So it was his task. Suddenly, about 2 days back, there was a clash between Akhundzada's forces and the Haqqani group. 17 have been killed. Niranjan, 17 have been killed. The DG ISI, who is next in the line to become the Pakistani Army Chief after Bajwa retires after his extension, you know,
Bakshi.
I'll just finish. General Bajwa is extremely upset because one, he is very hassled about the failure, the abject failure in the Panjshir. On top of it, he found his ISI, DG trying to upstage him by trying to go to Kabul like a conqueror, and then finding that they are in serious trouble. They are heading for serious trouble. Niranjan, they are in all their triumphalism will come back to haunt them. Thank you.
Now, General Bakshi, I want to know who fooled whom. I want to know whether the Taliban fooled the ISI or whether the ISI and Pakistan fooled the people of Afghanistan. Actually, let me ask that question to the one person who can answer that question, who is the Central Secretary of Information of the PTI, who's Ahmad Jawad, who's on the debate with us. Ahmad Jawad, okay, let's keep the rhetoric aside and let's look at what happened 48 hours ago, right? And all our guests from Islamabad, from Karachi, from Lahore are on the show with us. Ahmad Jawad. 48 hours ago, Pakistani journalists, Pakistani media, right? And everybody who backs Pakistan put out videos, reports to claim that Panjshir had been run over, right? It hasn't been. In fact, the Taliban has suffered casualties, over 1,000 of them. We have videos to show that. I mean, these are videos that came out on your screen, Mr. Jawad. If you can see, you will see how the how the Islamic Emirate or the Taliban retreated from Panjshir. So why don't you tell us, was it a campaign, and how big was this campaign? You're the Central Secretary of Information, right? How well was this planned to show like Panjshir had been defeated, which it wasn't so far?
So you want to know the campaign Pakistan is running to show that what Taliban has achieved in Panjshir. I would like to know what is the campaign being run by the India to have some pleasure that Panjshir has not been so far taken over by Taliban.
Hasn't it?
What is the real worry and concern of India on a bomb blast in Quetta? I think there would have been more concerns and worries for India to determine that how come Indian foreign policy has failed in Afghanistan? How come Indian law has failed in Afghanistan?
Sir, it's a Sunday evening.
Ajit Deval has failed in Afghanistan.
Sir, it's a Sunday evening.
Coming back to your question.
Yeah. I asked you a straightforward question. I told you, let's keep the rhetoric aside. And you started talking about, now you're saying Tehrik-e-Taliban and the attack in Quetta was carried out by India. See, sir, due respect to you, let's talk facts. I asked you a straightforward question. I asked you about a question about what happened 48 hours ago when you claimed that the Taliban had taken over Panjshir, right? Facts on the ground, videos, reports show that it was a complete propaganda. What really happened there?
Patience. Okay. I hope you have some patience to listen to me.
Yes, I'm listening.
First of all, you said that keep the rhetoric aside. But in last 10 minutes, through the news and through your own introductory remarks and then General Bakshi, what was that? Is it not?
Sir, those are facts on the ground. Don't you know, sir, thousand of them have been killed.
When we air the Pakistani view.
1,000 Taliban terrorists have been killed. When I say Taliban, I mean Taliban plus Al-Qaeda terrorists have been killed. Haven't you heard? Ahmad Jawad, you want to see the pictures?
First of all, I would not like to comment on a selected picture or a selected information.
Sir, we have a reporter. Okay, first, sir, let me correct. Let me stop you right there, sir. We have our reporters on the ground. I'll stop you there because I'm not sure whether Pakistani media actually has reporters on the ground in Panjshir, sir. I know you're the Central Secretary of Information, Brigadier Haris Nawaz. I know you're saying something. I just want to make a point to him, and I'll come across to you, sir. We have 5 reporters in Afghanistan. Right? They're putting their life on the line and they're reporting from Panjshir. 2 of them from Panjshir, 1 from Nangarhar, 2 from Kabul. So please don't tell us what's happening on the ground because we know exactly what's happening on the ground. Let me get in Tom Wadakan. Tom Wadakan is coming in now. Tom Wadakan to Brigadier Haris Nawaz. Tom Wadakan, I'm just wondering, Tom Wadakan, imagine on a Sunday evening if any of India's intelligence chiefs, or forget intelligence chiefs, if any of India's officials were to be in Kabul ahead of a government formation, right? And the whole world is watching. The ISI chief, what the hell is he doing there? I mean, it can't get more brazen than this, can it? Tom Wadakan.
Well, Niranjan, I think this is total exposure of the Pakistani establishment. This, I think, is clearly indicative to the world at large what is the kind of operation that Pakistan is carrying out in Afghanistan. Be what it may, the ISI chief in Kabul or what the government formation, but it has miserably failed. Now you have reporters at the ground reporting what is actually happening. And here you have the panelists denying all that and saying, well, this is India's propaganda. And he runs another propaganda saying that RAW is behind it. Believe me, the history of Tehrik-e-Taliban, Pakistan, is essentially a creation that took off after Benazir Bhutto's death. And they had a connect with them. And it is a totally anti-Pakistani establishment, which is into a terrorist group. These are students. Many of them have been jailed in Afghanistan. And what they call the good or bad Talibans, they were released from the Afghan jails. And what did they do? They are now all the way creeping back into Pakistan or Afghanistan. The point is, Pakistan's establishment is failed. How do you
Yes,
how do
because
you
this is very
establish?
unfair. I'm
Brigadier
going to
Nawaz,
ask-
I'll let you speak. I'll let you speak. Sir, we have enough time. Trust me, we have enough time. I want Tom Wadakan to speak, sir, if you don't mind. I'll let you speak. Yeah.
Now the point is,
Fair.
they want to blow
this is not
the issues. No, they want to claim that they have succeeded, but unfortunate that they have been exposed before the international community. India is against violence of any order. To claim that India had anything to do with this operation is absolutely incorrect, because there's a track record of their attacking air bases, the attack on the army school, and all that. So it is not as if it is something that has come boomeranged after the Afghanistan operation. There is a track record. Please examine that. They were in Afghan jails, released by your good or bad Taliban, and they are in action.
Let me tell you,
when you have serpents in your backyard.
Brigadier Nawaz.
No, this is unfair.
When you have
No, I'll let you speak. Brigadier Nawaz, hear me
You
out.
are giving not to
No, Brigadier Nawaz, hear me out. Why you interrupting Tom Wadakan from speaking?
You're doing the wrong thing. No,
When you have serpents in your backyard.
He's talking about serpents in your backyard. Hear him out. This last sentence is going to be nice.
And they are
No, it's going to be nice. Hear him out.
Now this Joker is talking so many times.
This is nemesis.
No,
This is nemesis.
That's Tom Wadakan
stacking up.
responding to you on what
unfair.
Hillary Clinton said when you have snakes in your backyard. He said
you are not
serpents,
giving
but
us
it
a
was
chance.
actually snakes in your backyard. Something that was said by Hillary Clinton. Brigadier Haris Nawaz, you're very rational. I consider you a very rational spokesman of the Pakistan army, a veteran who comes on Indian TV, right? I don't expect you to keep your biases aside, but for a second think about it, right? Today we are talking about what is ISI Chief doing in Kabul, right? Right?
Let me tell you. I'll give you answer. The point is.
Okay, go ahead.
The ISI Chief has gone for security concerns, which have Pakistan a lot, because you were there, your RAW was there, you were sponsoring
RAW?
PDP, you were sponsoring ISS.
We are sponsoring
Yes, of
ISIS.
course.
No, one second. Did I just hear you say we are sponsoring ISIS? Brigadier Nawaz?
You
are gone. Now you are in a pain in your neck because your contacts are gone, your investment is gone, which you had $3 billion over there, and now you, Taliban said, you are not welcome.
Can't hear you very clearly.
And
your National Defense Security Advisor was sitting on the benches in Doha, and Taliban didn't meet you. And now
Did you just say Brigadier Haris Nawaz?
Begging them. You have been
Did
begging
you just
them,
say,
I know it.
Brigadier
You
Haris
know it.
Nawaz, did you
Haven't
just say
known?
that we are sponsoring ISIS Khorasan?
No, it is a fact. It is a Jan Bakshi know that Jan Bakshi.
No. Did you just say that we are sponsoring ISIS Khorasan?
They were
General
sitting on the
Kochar, did you hear him?
They were not allowed to meet.
it's very...
Everybody knows it.
You're
And the
laughing
problem is
yourself.
now-
You
now
know
the-
you're kidding, right? I mean, must be
No,
Sunday
of
evening
course.
entertainment for you.
Now the point is,
What's going on?
listen to me.
General
Listen to me.
Kochar,
The point is,
he's saying
now you
India's
talk-
sponsoring ISIS
you talk about
Khorasan.
Panjshir
What's
Valley.
wrong with
You're
him?
talking- This is the
General
most
Kochar.
correct thing. You all know it. That is the pain of having Indians raw in your government, that you are...
I don't know what to say, but I'll let General Kochar respond to you. Listen to him.
No, don't ask
Listen to
me.
him.
Let me speak out. Then the point is, then second thing is, you talk about Panjshir, Taliban, they have come over there, they are not terrorists. They are the Taliban who are victors. They have kicked out a bloody complete US superpower Soviet students, and now this time US. So that is the thing. Now that they are your sponsor, you have given the ammunition, you have given the weapon, you brought aircraft, the Northern Lights, you have been fed them. That's what you have tried. They create a bloodshed, but they will not resist within a day or so. The whole Panjshir Valley is going to be with the Taliban, and within 3-4 days you will see they're going to form a government. So
No.
relax.
Are you saying, General Brigadier Haris Nawaz? Are you saying you're offering air support also to Taliban? Are you saying that? Are you saying that Pakistan is offering air support?
No, they have. If they have defeated the superpower, they don't need our support. We have told them our security concern. What Indian RAW had the connection, where the KTP connections. We want the Taliban should go and take action against them. That is what is Pakistan worries. Otherwise, the government they're forming, what they want to do, that is Afghan people, Afghan Taliban. We have got nothing to do. Please do remember. But
But one second. What is your ISI chief doing there? No. What is your ISI chief doing there? General Kochar, what is their ISI chief doing there? General Kochar.
He has gone for the security concern.
Security concern? Security concern.
Brigadier Nawaz.
Tell them all security contacts.
Security concern.
Where are the
Sir, hello.
Where are the
Hello. Sir, hello.
Where is the ISS correction? That is the thing they have gone there.
Okay, here General Kochar. Brigadier Nawaz. Here General Kochar. You made some very unreasonable comments. Here General Kochar now. General Kochar.
Okay, Brigadier Nawaz, you made your point. The problem is that today Pakistan has been exposed by sending its ISI.
Hear him out, Brigadier Nawaz, hear him out.
And why I'm actually saying that is because Taliban was having a problem in forming the government there. Please allow me.
Having a problem that
Hear him out, Brigadier Nawaz. Don't interrupt him. He didn't interrupt you. Come on. He didn't interrupt you. Come on.
Indian have exposed. Now you have
Nawaz, I did not interfere in your
Sir,
speech.
please don't interrupt him. Sir, hear him out. Hear him out. Brigadier Nawaz, hear him out.
Nawaz, please hear me out. You are a military man.
Brigadier Nawaz, hear him out. Please don't make me do this. Hear him out.
Listen to me, Brigadier Nawaz. This, the very fact that your ISI chief is there and the timing of his visit coincides with the government formation in Afghanistan, Taliban is having a problem in forming the government.
Not at all.
Because of the power sharing agreement with the Haqqani network. Pakistan does not want a dilution of power to Haqqani.
Hear him out.
That is the reason. It's not disconnected. It's a fact.
Nothing is over there.
You must understand,
nothing is happening.
Pakistan cannot allow the entire power to be given to Taliban.
Taliban will also die within a month.
Farah Saeed on the right, yeah.
The Haqqani.
Taliban also.
And
Taliban
that is the reason
to go there.
your ISI chief
will
is
not
there.
allow you. Taliban will not allow you. Not
Sir, don't heckle him. Don't heckle him, sir. Don't heckle him. Brigadier Nawaz, see, sir, I gave you an opportunity, sir. See, I'm letting you speak. I'm letting him speak. Please don't interrupt him.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. General Kochar, Farah Saeed will come in next. Yeah, General Kochar, go ahead.
Okay, I will respond to what Brigadier Nawaz has made a statement. The very fact that the ISI chief is in Afghanistan and his visit, timing of the visit coincides with the government formation. And we know the closeness of the Pakistan government with the Haqqani network. Today, Pakistan wants stakes for Haqqani network in governance. Taliban is not willing to share the kind of power Pakistan wants with the Haqqani network. And we know that from where the Haqqani network has originated, from Wazirabad in Pakistan. And we also know today there are 6,000 fighters of Haqqani controlling Kabul. And that is why there is a problem there in the formation of the government. ISI chief lands there.
Brigadier Nawaz, don't interrupt him. Don't interrupt him. Don't interrupt him.
Please don't interrupt.
Sir, don't interrupt him. Sir, don't interrupt him. Please don't interrupt him.
Is verified. And it's a fact. And you must learn to accept these facts. Why have you sent your ISI chief at this point of time? It is absolutely clear, not only to India,
I want to speak then.
to the entire world is watching you today. You have exposed yourself in the eyes of the world today by your sending of your ISI.
Okay,
there.
Brigadier Nawaz, see, sir, General Kochar, sorry to interrupt you there, but you know, Brigadier Nawaz is going on and on. Brigadier Nawaz, I gave you your turn. Let me bring in Farah Saeed. Farah Saeed, why is Pakistan almost celebrating the Taliban government that is to be sworn in very, very soon in Kabul? Why is Pakistan celebrating? I mean, you know, they're roughly 80% the size of your country. They're roughly about, you know, 20% your population, right? It's almost as if Pakistan is celebrating, you know, the Taliban government, hoping that they get some sort of a cut in whatever's going on in Kabul. What's your cut? What's the cut that Pakistan has in this stake of the Taliban government?
Niranjan, you know what the bad thing is happening is we have distorted the entire debate from the very first. First, answering your question, Pakistan will only celebrate stability on our borders, be it with India, be it with Afghanistan. We were all surprised with how rapid the Afghan capital fall. But then we were also looking forward because, again, every nation state in the world has given Taliban a seat on the table. And it's not just the Americans, the Pakistanis, but also Indians as well. And coming back to your question, what you were questioning earlier, that what is General Faz doing in Afghanistan? General Faz is trying to achieve somewhat similar objectives what the Indian ambassador to Qatar, Deepak Mittal, was trying to do back in July. So we're all trying to make better with whatever the regime that is coming in Afghanistan. I think everybody is trying to get towards stability. Nobody wants, so India and Pakistan both have security concerns. India being a bit far, Pakistan have more than 2,700 kilometers of their border. They share border with Afghanistan. So our objective is to maintain the security status quo. We don't want infiltration coming into our borders. That is the main objective. And what more can the DG ISI be achieving, or what more can he be having the objectives rather than just having some kind of agreement or you see some kind of coordination. So we don't have refugees influx in Pakistan that we saw back in 90s, and we're still facing the repercussions of that refugee influx. So these are the basic things. But if I may question one thing, you see, as an objective journalist, I have been covering news, whatever is happening in Afghanistan, whatever is happening within our borders, and obviously whatever is happening between India and Pakistan. But I feel sad, and I feel that the entire sanctity or the objectivity of debate was distorted when General Bakshi comes up with some kind of make-believe, cherry-picked, self-serving facts that I don't know. I don't see those facts in Indian media. I don't see those facts in Pakistani media, and even if we keep these media aside, I don't see those facts coming up in international media where some kind of Pakistani troops are gone in Panjshir and supporting.
You want some proof? One second. Faraz, you want proof? I can give you proof. You know, Republic TV, you know, we take pride, and you mentioned General Bakshi. He wants to respond to you. But while General Bakshi responds to you, I want to give you proof that was also put out by not us, but the people of Afghanistan in the last 15 days. The Northern Alliance and people of Afghanistan who put out pictures of how Pakistani soldiers, Pakistani commandos, right, Lashkar-e-Toiba, how they've been fighting alongside the Taliban. I mean, please, I don't expect you to be so naive. I hope you're not that naive, but I'll let General Bakshi respond to you. I'll let General Bakshi respond to you while I put out those pictures. You see those pictures? I'll put those pictures out. General Bakshi, you want to respond to him, sir? We'll put those pictures out as well.
Look,
on the right, while you speak, I'll put out the pictures of the ID cards.
Look,
yeah,
my young friend, are you telling me that there is no combat taking place in the Panjshir Valley? You know, you want us to believe the drivel propaganda that you dish out? We have our sources, and what is more is, I would like you to just open your mobile phone and get on to some of your Pakistani people who are coming out with these things. You are in for a shock. Besides, he's just told you, we've got 5 reporters of the Republic on the ground. 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken, are in the Panjshir. In fact, more.
Yes.
Right? What we are getting is from the ground, hard intelligence. And what we are saying is what the world will be saying tomorrow and day after. You are hoist with your own petard. Let me give you a few facts. There is a drought in Afghanistan. The people are short of food. The entire administrative system has collapsed. The banks are shut. All the professional people in Afghanistan have not been paid for the last 3 months. And if you expect the Taliban, which is so good at bursting IEDs, you know, beating up women, stoning them to death, etc., to govern and to run a modern technocratic state, you are living in Alice in Wonderland. Just give it 2-3 months, the urban Afghans will be up in arm against you, because hunger, my boy, leads to anger. You understand that? The urbans are against you. The women are protesting, man. I salute the Afghan women. You are talking of liberation? Have you seen the absolute panic on the faces of the Afghan people? How they were clinging to the tires of the C-17 aircraft to somehow get the hell out. They fell at 10,000 feet. You had a bomb blasted on the Kabul airport, 180 killed, 13 Marines killed, 18 wounded, yet next day the people were there. They want to get out of the hellhole, my boy, that you have created there. You are responsible for the misery of the Afghan
Pakistani
people.
boots on the ground.
The Taliban, my dear boy, let me just finish. I'll just finish. I'd love to hear you. You seem to be educated. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that the Taliban is incapable of governance, right? And they have been brutal to the minorities in the last time around. They are repeating the same. 50% of the Afghan population is not Pashtun. It is Tajik, Uzbek, Hazara, Ismaili. Tajiks are fighting for you. They have given a bloody nose to the Taliban. A bloody nose. You should have anticipated that.
Jal Bakshi.
You didn't. Now you are going to get a lot many more shocks.
Jal Bakshi, with your permission, sir, I want to ask Faraz. Faraz, if you don't mind, I'll get all our panelists on and I'll ask you one question. Faraz, you seem like sorry to put it that way, but a very a moderate, reasonable panelist from Pakistan. Where did you do your education, my friend? Faraz, if I can ask you that question, where did you study? Which city? Your higher education, my friend.
Lahore.
You studied in Lahore?
Yeah.
Were women allowed to sit in the same class with men in your higher education classes, my friend?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what happens when women are stopped from their rights. I'll show you the pictures from today. And you, my friend, as someone who's educated, sitting in Pakistan, I want you to tell me what you think of these pictures. I'll play those pictures out of how the Taliban cracked down on women protesters today. And it came in this evening. It was also reported on Tolo News. If you think it's part of propaganda, Tolo News, a media house based in Afghanistan, has had the courage to put this out. Those are the pictures of women protesting in the heart of Kabul, right? In the heart of Kabul, protesting, some of them with their phones shooting videos, and they were shot down, my friend, shot down. Their protest was shot down, not them shot down by bullets, but their protest was shot down, and they were forced to go home. Crackdown of the worst kind. There were bullets fired in the air to ensure they run from that particular location. I have visuals from Kabul, I have videos from Herat, I have videos from across Afghanistan to show you what really happened. I want to ask you, does it really matter to you? Does it really matter to you? Right? I've had journalists, we've had journalists on Republic TV who've come on our channel from Pakistan, and they've been horrified by the position that the PTI takes. They've been horrified. Brigadier Haris Nawaz is raising his hand, but they've been horrified with the position that the PTI takes, that Ahmad Jawad takes, and his party takes. Where do you stand?
Since you were engaging with me, the idea is that's happening in Afghanistan. I am not a representative, or I'm not a journalist who lives in Afghanistan, but the idea is...
But when the PTI says Sharia rule is okay... No, 1 second. My friend Faraz, one last question. When there have been spokespersons, that I have them on record, when they say the Sharia rule is okay because it's Afghanistan, and there have been so many journalists from Pakistan who've come out and said that, how can you even back Sharia rule? I want to ask you, you're sitting in Lahore, do you back Sharia rule?
Well, you would be surprised that if I say, Mehdi Hassan's famous video on Sharia law, I have
nothing to say to you, my friend. I'll let Tom Barakan respond to you.
But the idea is, there is no one form of Sharia. Every sect of Islam have been practicing their own form of Sharia. And today, if Taliban are practicing their own form of Sharia, that is entirely political.
Their own form of Sharia?
That is entirely political.
Tom Barakan. They're shooting dead women who speak out.
Of Sharia.
No, 1 second. They're shooting dead women who speak out. Tom Barakan, I want you to respond.
They have not shooted.
That is not
This
Sharia.
history
That
of-
is not Sharia. That is brutality.
No, let Tom Marakan respond, please, for God's sake. I
admission.
expected I
Nobody
expected to be
has
reasonable. I mean, forgive me for that,
shocked.
but Tom Marakan.
I'm shocked that Sharia is being described in different formats. For the Taliban, there's a different Sharia, and for the gentleman sitting in Lahore, there's a different Sharia. But I thought it was all united. But here's an admission that, well, Pakistan has a view on Afghanistan and Taliban and the Sharia that killing of women are permitted. I'm shocked. Any civilization in the
said
world,
it's political.
when there is a revolt
it's not
by
Sharia.
women, no, but there's a revolt by
It is
women.
not Sharia.
Believe me, you, Pakistan's foundation will be shaken. It is not about Afghanistan. It is about Pakistan. Beware. You mess around with women, they are going to hit back, and all that peace and tranquility and the stability you talk about is going to be a dream. You are in Alice in Wonderland. You were
I don't understand what
Hats
kind
off.
of image do you have for Pakistan. I don't understand what kind of image do you have
You
for
know,
Pakistan.
Faraz, I'm sorry to tell you. I'm sorry to tell you, Faraz, I have to end it.
We have seen images.
Tom Marakan, General G.D. Bakshi, General Rajan Kochar, Ahmad Jawad, Brigadier Haris Nawaz and Faraz Saeed. Let me tell you one thing. Let me end with those pictures of those women who came out despite knowing that it could be their last day on the streets of Kabul. And I can tell you that one of our reporters, and I won't name the reporter, one of our reporters, his father was picked up by the Taliban. His father was picked up, not freed for a couple of days. They were hunting for him, right? I'm telling you, it's all happening. And when women come out and protest on the streets of Kabul, right? Faraz, it tells you that Pakistan's job is not going to be easy. The people of Afghanistan are going to fight back, and we stand with them. And we salute them. We salute them for fighting back the rule of terror, rule of the gun. I appreciate all our panelists joining us on the broadcast this evening. Thank you very much.